Hey everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we're taking a look at the latest BigPicture release and its new features designed to streamline your project management. Is this another great release? We'll see about that. Let's dive right in. First up, the brand new homepage. It is designed to help you quickly navigate to your work. The dashboard is now split into three sections. The first one is the quick links, where you can quickly jump to your Gantt module of a specific box that you have already created. So for example, I want to see the overview of all my Gantt charts in a single place. I would go to the main box. If I want to have a look at the Gantt for a specific portfolio project stage, all I really need to do is just click on one of the items on the list. That's it. This applies to all the available modules, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of them. So I'm expecting some further improvements, because is it really that quick if I have to scroll all the way to the reports module? Well, I would suggest to add another row so that we can fit everything on a single screen without the need for scrolling. Second is the recent section. So here you'll see the recent boxes or your initiatives that you already opened or used earlier, so that you can quickly go back to them, and it will redirect you to the module that you were using. So as you can see here, I was looking at the digital portfolio number 2 using the overview module. I was looking at the operations department's Gantt chart, a Gantt chart for a particular project. And the third section, these are your favorites. So we all like to mark boxes that are most commonly used as our favorites. This works pretty straightforward. All you need to do is to mark your box as a favorite and it will appear on the list. Just mark it with the star. That's it. To try it out, just go to the overview module and hit the try new homepage button. Let us know if you like it in the comments. Next on the list are the Gantt chart enhancements. And here we can do quite a lot of interesting things. So let me go to the Gantt module. Well, I did not use the homepage, but oh well. So first of all, we have a hierarchy here of my tasks, and prior to the update you were not really able to collapse them using the timeline. So right now you'll see this expand collapse button right here, and you can collapse the timeline in no time. Small improvement, but very useful, and I really think that you'll like it. Also, if the task doesn't have dates, although all my tasks do have dates right now, so let me just clear the dates for this example. So right now, even if the task does not have dates, you can still right click on the timeline to see its details. Well, I can open it in Jira window, I can edit the task, I can zoom in on the task. Also, there is quite a new editing screen. I'm not a huge fan of that, but you can always use the old screen and edit it directly using the issue edit screen of your Jira. Speaking of Gantt, and I am using the sample data box, which means that I'm operating with basic tasks, and these are not Jira issues. So what was missing in that sense? Well, since these are not Jira issues, you were not able to assign them to sprints and present them here on the Gantt chart. You were not able to also set the priority for these issues, and that has been resolved now. So let's add the priority field. And as you can see, we have two fields. We have the Jira field that works only with Jira issue, and you have the priority built-in field, which now allows us to set the priority also for basic tasks. Quite a good improvement in my opinion. Let us know if you like it or not. Another field that was added is the sprint field. So again, it works in a similar way. We have the Jira native field and we have the built-in field. This way we can start assigning work to sprints, although I haven't configured any sprints for this particular project. However, in this operations department hybrid project, I do have sprints, so as you can see, it works very well, and I can simply assign work to sprints directly using the Gantt interface. Another improvement relates to the resources module. So let's switch to the resources module. And what was improved is the timeline. Here, as you can see, we can now quickly adjust the time period, as it is referred to in BigPicture, and simply narrow the timeline to zoom in, to zoom out as well. I want to go to the monthly view, although I think I'm not able to switch to the quarterly view from here, so I will still need to use the buttons. But you get the idea, you don't have to use these buttons anymore. Just select the time frame you are interested in and instantly zoom in. What do you think about this improvement? Again, drop us a comment and let us know. One more improvement when it comes to Gantt and its cloning features. So we all love to clone as it simply allows us to work faster, but cloning as well as importing has its limitations. For example, not all of the fields are cloned. The good news, however, is that another field is now supported, which is the skills field. So every time you assign a skill to a work item, let's say a tester is required here to complete this task, and you clone your project. Cloning means that you'll recreate such work items in a selected project. You will also include the skill required to complete a task. Quite a good improvement. There are still some things missing when it comes to cloning, but at the end of the day we are creating a template, so we don't really need to clone everything. But keep in mind that there are limitations, and if you want to learn more, I do encourage you to check out the cloning documentation, because it lists all the limitations there. And long story short, not all the fields are cloned. In case of the skills field, I think it's a great improvement. Now, the last change that we partially discussed in one of our new release earlier videos is about Timebox Schedules. So what are Timebox Schedules and how you can find them? So first of all, you will need to be a BigPicture admin to access this section, and you will find this new tab under the administration, Timebox Schedules. Now, what are Timebox Schedules? If you're familiar with BigPicture, you might have created your boxes representing time periods such as years, quarters, iterations within those quarters, or simply months and weeks. And once you created such a hierarchy, maybe let me demonstrate it real quick. And once you created such a hierarchy, and it doesn't really have to be what I've described, it can be a hierarchy such as for your hybrid project with the project phases, with iterations for the software development phase, or simply an agile release train consisting of planning intervals and iterations. Anytime you created such a hierarchy, while you could duplicate the configuration and that would apply the configuration of the existing box and recreate it, you had to do it one by one, and it also had its limitations. BigPicture finally listened to its clients and decided to implement the concept of Timebox Schedules. So if you have a repeatable structure or hierarchy of time boxes that you would like to reuse every time you start a new year, for example, or start a new initiative, now you can do it with this concept. The improvement, however, here is that you can, instead of designing such a Timebox schedule from scratch, like I did here, you can use what you've already created. Alright, so let's try to convert time boxes, like I will call it my schedule, and select one of the projects, maybe information technology project. Let's hit next, and I will be now asked to map my box types to the time box levels. There are 4 time box levels: year, half year, program increment, iteration. Let's map it to iteration. Hit next. I have created 2 stages. They will be mapped to these 2 iterations. Hit convert, and now we need to wait a little bit until the conversion is completed. Now my schedule is ready. What is also important, if you had teams assigned to this time box, or if we use BigPicture terminology, that would be the local teams, you can also select these teams and the teams will be converted to global teams automatically for you. What else you can do here is you can connect the time box with a specific field in Jira. So in case of iterations or sprints, that would be the sprint field, but there are other supported fields such as select list type of fields, epic link, and all sorts of text. So I will leave it as it is. This is a standard functionality of BigPicture, and every time you configure your sub boxes, you are required to do that as well. So I will skip that part, and you can assign this schedule to boxes. We've already have some boxes created, but we can assign them. Let's assign it to, for example, my Jira 2.0, my new classic project, and hit save. Alright, That's it, we've assigned the boxes, we've assigned the new structure to new boxes. We can now go back to the overview and see the changes. So for example here, in case of Jira 2.0, you see that a new Timebox schedule was assigned and I have the 2 stages created already for me. How great is that? I bet it will save you a lot of time. And again, let us know in the comments if you hate or love the new features, or maybe you are still waiting for something and it's somewhere in the AppsFire's backlog. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.